What's up and welcome to The Real Deal with Empire. I'm your host, Ali Fawaz, and glad to have you guys here again on the podcast where we talk about all things related to real estate, whether it's buying, selling, or investing, or maybe you're just here to listen and learn about some of the stories. You're in the right place. This is the podcast where we talk about real estate in not just the transactional sense, but also the transformational sense of real estate. And we've got a really good episode for you here today. If you haven't done so already, I want to encourage you guys, please like, follow, share The Real Deal. You can find us on YouTube, on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, and anywhere else that you really listen to your podcast. So I want to encourage you guys to do that. Now, today's guest is someone that someone that you need to hear from today. He's, especially if you're in the Metro Detroit area, Gus is a real estate pro who's built a thriving career in Miami, Florida, and one of the hottest markets that's out there. But now he's actually bringing his expertise here to Michigan, focusing on the Grosse Pointe and maybe more importantly, servicing the Hispanic community, one of the most underserved markets, if you ask me. And let me tell you, folks, it is a game changer. Think about it. If your first language isn't English, buying or selling a home is going to be a stressful experience regardless. That just adds to the complexity of it. So when your agent speaks your language, understanding your culture and truly gets and understands your needs, that's exactly what Gus is doing. And we're driving into how he's making that happen today. Gus, welcome to The Real Deal with Empire. Thank you for jumping on. We're glad to have you.
Pleasure to be here.
Right. So Miami real estate, that's kind of wild.
It's very Miami real estate. Well, I don't like to call it Miami because I was servicing Miami, which is called Miami-Dade, the county, Broward, and mostly the south of Palm Beach County. It's very dynamic. You have people from everywhere. Of course, tons of people from South America.
Yep.
But also a lot of European people, Russians. Whatever you want is there. It's really...
Your flavor.
Oh, yes. And the properties go from, one condos, for a first-time home buyer or, a 2-1, single family home, all the way to amazing properties that are, waterfront, the beautiful buildings, amazing, super expensive, super high-end.
I can imagine.
So you have everything. You have the whole, spectrum of, kind of clientele and needs.
Nice.
In the area.
How did you get into the industry?
I guess that's in my blood. My father used to build buildings.
Okay.
He was an entrepreneur. He used to, we had a company that basically women fashion, one of the first ones in Buenos Aires, Argentina. And one of his passions was real estate. And he built a few buildings, in one of them that I basically live almost my whole life when I was there. So I think it's not only a quality, it's in my blood. It's something that it's a generation.
That is nice. Now, we talk about you come to us from Miami-Dade, hailing originally from Argentina?
Argentina, yes. Buenos Aires.
Nice. So now that you've made the move to Michigan, that's a pretty big climate change shift.
Do you think so?
So slight.
Look at you and look at myself.
Now, you had to trek through the snow to get here today.
I'm getting used to, there are always new things that I'm learning, The other day, it wasn't the snow, it was the ice on the windshield. I think I told you that, And the first time that I had was something like that, I poured, hot water, and
yes.
Then I realized, and thank God nothing happened. But then I realized that's the best way if you want to basically shatter the whole windshield.
Yeah, that would be the best way to shatter the windshield.
It's like, how to, and it didn't happen, thank God. This time I use another technique that I saw in TikTok, that you get the seat bag and you fill it with hot water and then you basically spray it all over the windshield. And that worked pretty well that day. Because even with the scraper, I couldn't get off the
stuff,
the ice, and those are things that if you didn't live here before, you don't know. Like, like a basement. Basement is a whole new animal for me, when I came here. In Florida, you cannot have a basement. You have a basement, you have a pool.
Yes.
It's a pool basement because after a few days, it will be filled up with water because everything is like that. Even when you build a pool, you have to build it pretty fast because if not,
It'll
it's filled with water. Yes.
Yeah, we're big on our basements here in Michigan.
Oh, no. And I love them. Don't get me wrong. You can put so much stuff that you will never use and you will never need, but, you have it there.
Yes.
Just to fill up some space. And then you have also the garage that you will never use as a garage, but also you can put more completely unnecessary things.
We were talking the other day, and, I was kind of poking fun saying, it must be great coming up here to the winter weather. You must love it here. And you, in fact, said you'd rather be here than in Florida right now. And I guess
well, weather-wise, I'm not a fan of the hot. Basically it's hot,
Sure.
hot. I'm not a fan of the hot weather, but you have AC and in the car, in the house, everywhere you go, unless you want to play sports outside, which I did several times, and it's complicated. But I'm not a fan of the snow, but I'm a fan of the people here. So when I came originally, my plan was a 5-year plan for, basically for what I was doing in real estate and everything. It was a 5-year plan. And when I came, I found out that this is a phenomenal place to be. Again, weather considering, I don't like the snow, don't get me wrong, but the people here is brilliant. The people here, when you find someone, it's a Michigan, 99% of the time.
Yeah.
And the kids are more educated. The people is more well-rounded. They ask me about, my president, my country, my things, things that in Florida, in order to find a Floridian, you have to, break the stone and see if there is something there because there's no Floridians in Florida.
Yeah,
everyone is coming from everywhere.
Yeah.
So everybody is transplanted. Here, no. It's like you have history and the people, it's from here. And it's so nuts, the change. So I love it here. I love the people here.
That's awesome to hear. That really is refreshing to hear, especially somebody coming in from the outside.
Well, when I was moving here, I was going, to buy all the things, to get ready with my home. People say, "Where are you coming from?" Florida. Hey, are you crazy? It's the other way around. You should be moving to Florida from here. I say, well, it is what it is. And now I know that I made the perfect choice. Every single time that I go to Florida, I convince myself again that I'm not going back to Florida.
Nice. Well, we're excited. We're glad to have you here in Michigan.
Thank you.
You're focusing on servicing the Hispanic community here in Metro Detroit. Why do you think that it's a market that's been underserved right now?
As you say, it's completely underserved. Basically, there are different reasons why there is not enough Spanish-speaking agents or realtors or professionals, not only realtors, money lenders, title companies, that they care to the Spanish community. That's why, one of the first conversations we had when we came on board, what can we do to service so many people? And it's not only the language barrier that, you have to go through all the paperwork, in a different language. It's also the nuances about the culture, how you do things, how you approach different issues that they are particular, from our culture. They are different. So it's not only being able to hold the hand and, go through the maze, that to me is not a maze, but for someone that is not used to and doesn't also speak the language, it's really more complicated. And sometimes they are in fear of asking questions because they think it's not a smart question. And there is no not smart questions. Every question is important. You know, you need to be sure. You need to be confident, and you have to get that trust.
Yes.
So in order to do that, the most important thing is to be empathic. You know, you have to understand where the people are coming from and understand their journey and sit with them and, know what's their story and what they need. And basically accomplish, help them accomplish their dream, because we're here for the American dream or not.
100%. Absolutely.
And the American dream, basically, one of the pillars of the American dream is having their own house.
It absolutely is. And actually, that was one of the questions I was going to ask you is let's talk about trust. You kind of already touched on that. But can you give me any real world examples of how maybe speaking Spanish ever made a huge difference to a client that maybe you worked with in the past?
Basically, a lot of times it's about the paperwork. A lot of times it's about what this really means. How important is this? So, letting them know, okay, this is important. Yeah. This is crucial. This is not. We have to focus on this or that. For example, when it goes to inspections, what prepare the person before the inspection to know that there are going to be 25 million little items that they are not important, that they've been there forever and they will be there forever after they leave that home. But they're very important things that they will affect their investment. So all these little things are what makes the importance. So a lot of times it's, as I said, the language barrier, and getting to understand, basically what's important and what is not that crucial. Right. And a lot of them, and the other things are really understanding the culture, being part of the culture, to be able to understand where they're coming from. Sometimes you don't meet just with the buyers, you meet with the buyers, you meet even sometimes with the grandparents, you meet with the kids. Yeah. It's like a family decision. I'm sure you know about this, because most likely our cultures are very, very similar. So, it's not just a matter of, the people that is going to be buying the house, but the whole family involved in it. So you need to learn where they're coming from to see basically how you need to handle every single aspect of this.
Yeah.
Or the purchase.
It might sound cliche, but it's so true. It's the little things that count. So
absolutely.
It's those nuances that you mentioned that make the difference. And a lot of times the only way you're going to know about these things is by being really engulfed in that culture, in understanding the people and being part of the community. And that's something that this particular topic really resonates with me throughout the organization, because one of our pillars and our part of our mission is, regardless of where we open, because we are a boutique homegrown shop out of Michigan, we want to mirror the communities that we are in. We want to be a part of the fabric of the communities that we open up in. And so that's why this topic is really near and dear to my heart. So I love to hear that. I guess as far as real estate goes, and real estate in way more than just paperwork. We know that, right? It's about building trust, as you had mentioned. It's about building the relationships. It's about getting to know the entire family. And you're not only, a transaction coordinator. You're much more.
That's very simple to do. That's it's just very mechanic. It's a complete different thing. It's of course being in constant communication. So usually, if they have to call you to ask you something, means that you drop the ball somewhere, because you should be ahead and letting them know before they have the question.
Yep,
that would be the ideal, in a transaction.
Now, you're obviously helping people make one of the biggest decisions of their lives.
Mm-hmm.
And what's one thing that buyers think they know about real estate, but really at the end of the day, they actually don't know?
What I find time over time again is that they are looking for that perfect moment in time. Okay, I'm going to fix a credit. I'm going to get the money. I'm going to get that. I'm going to do that. Tons of people is already 100% ready to buy a home, And usually it's never a good time to wait. Usually it's never, waiting is never a good option. So they are waiting to get the better credit, and they really have perfectly fine. There are tons of programs. Also, they don't know how many fantastic programs are for first-time home buyers, or for sometimes, assistance programs. There are many, many different things that, we can contact with our lender, in-house lender, and they will learn that they are more than ready. They are waiting and waiting, and really they can be homeowners like in no time. That's what I found out that, there are, it happens a lot with the Hispanic community, that they think that they are not ready and they are more than ready.
It's interesting. What if a Spanish-speaking client is maybe feeling a little bit overwhelmed with the process? What's some good advice you'd give them?
Contact a professional. Find someone that you have some kind of connection, that you think that they are going to understand your needs. Someone that is not going to just show you the homes, that they are going to sit with you. And because I have a background in sales, but honestly, you can never sell a house. You can show features. You can give them advice in regards to, things that they have to be careful and they have to be aware of. But you cannot tell someone to buy a particular house. You can help them knowing what you know about them, finding which one is going to be the right fit for them. Because maybe they don't know, but with our expertise, we can help them find the perfect house.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Well, not perfect, it's like there's not such a thing as perfect.
Perfect for them, maybe.
Oh, yes.
And then it's always ever evolving and changing. Where do you see the Hispanic real estate market in the Metro Detroit area going maybe in the next 5 years?
Growing, definitely. We have I think it's a 6.2 percentage of Hispanics in the Metro Detroit area. So it's a huge market, huge, and it's growing. And the percentage of homeownership is also growing.
Yeah,
in the Hispanic community.
In that community.
So people are realizing that they can stop leasing, renting, and they can begin, they're doing from ownership and, begin building, wealth for them and the kids.
Yep.
So it's growing. It's definitely growing and going up.
Do you think more agents are going to step up and start servicing this community?
Absolutely. In fact, we were talking the other day about, being part of the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. We're going to try to educate. I don't want to say educate like, I'm here and I'm going to... No, just to explain, make it easy for the people to understand, the different steps. That is not that complicated. It's just, as I said before, it's a maze for someone that is not used to. It's just a common path for me. And I can hold your hand and I can take you from beginning to the end, with no hips and no problems.
I love that. If someone's looking to invest in real estate in this area, what's the number one thing that they should actually know?
Well, my background is, mostly, I began in the investment community. I do also use a system of land trust, to buy the properties. So within the land trust, the person stays, completely hidden. The real owner of the property stays completely hidden. We find a trustee. Sometimes they use me as trustee. That's very good too. So that's a perfect way to have an asset and protect it from internal factors and also externally, because no one can find out who is the real owner of the property. Because if the beneficiary is going to be a corporation, you can flip the corporation and nothing is going to come out, because there is no link between the corporation and the property.
Yeah.
So Detroit and Metro Detroit area is a phenomenal market for investments. You can still, that's basically one of the reasons why I moved here, because at the beginning, when I began my career, I used to buy properties for $40,000, 50, 60, single family homes.
Yeah.
And we used to rent them for 1,000, 1,100, 200. Those properties today are $350, $400, $450,000. So
Big
at
change.
yes. At that time when everything was, I began getting condos and penthouses. And, if you check my back, it says, I have a tattoo that says no condos or townhouses, because it's the worst of the worst of the worst. First of all, you're never owner. You cannot, like in a single family home, say, I run your plate today and you can move today at night or tomorrow. You have to go through hoops and things, You have the inspections, you have this, you have that, it's a nightmare. It's basically, I have stories about that. So no, but for another podcast altogether. So that's why at the time I also, even the condos that I used to buy that they were like 80, 100, now they're $200,000. So they also stop being convenient, because the best investment is when you can put, the little amount of money and get the most of return. Sure. And right now, the more expensive the property, the less that you can really have as a return. So that's the reason why I came to the Detroit area, to Michigan. And that's the reason why I began working, on the market. Yes. And also, of course, the traditional real estate, what I call retail real estate, which is what we do, for buying and selling for the people here. It's fantastic.
So you've had obviously a long storied career, 15 plus years.
Yes, I began with investing, and then when I realized that I'm doing all the work, and sometimes, some friends or family wanted to buy something, and basically I was doing all the deck work, and I was getting none of the recognition or money because, I was doing everything and no rewards whatsoever. I got my license first in Florida, then in Michigan. And when I got my license, I was very happy because you have a lot more tools that you can use to help the people. So I was very happy and glad that I finally did.
That's nice. That is really good. I'm sure you've got plenty of stories. You've got to have a interesting or funny or curious story with a client's experience that you've had, perhaps. Anything you can share? Anything's okay to share?
I think it's okay. I don't think... they are similar, because the good thing about this is basically after a while, your clients are not more your clients, they're your friends, almost family.
Yeah. If you're doing it right.
Yes, almost family. And I remember at that time, everything in South Florida was an REO. That means that it's a property owned by the bank, because the person stopped paying the mortgage. So the bank gets back the property, which is not something that the bank wants, or short sales, which is that you owe 200, but the property is not worth 200, it's worth 100. So you have to ask the bank, there has to be, certain conditions and everything. But basically what we used to do all the time was short sales and REOs.
Yes.
And I had Brandy, this phenomenal human being. She's fantastic. And she was looking for help because she was looking to buy, at the time, it was for like not much money. So there was not much of a reward monetary wise.
Okay.
So she couldn't really find someone to spend the time and to help her navigate, because it was complicated at the time. all the different things about, buying, for example, an REO.
Yeah.
Finally, we find one. It was my first co-op. It was a building with a co-op, which I had no clue how it worked. It's a completely different animal. And we were able to get her an incredible deal. Not good deal. She knows. It was an incredible deal. And now she's living in Hollywood, Florida, super happy in her condo. And I'm happy, super happy too, because I was able to help her. And we still remain friends, and I'm so glad. And she was very thankful because, it was a lot of work. It was a lot of work.
Yeah.
But, this is what is nice. When you can help someone, that's why I do what I do.
Uh-huh.
It's not, of course, we like money. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Money is nice.
Yes.
And,
we'll take the money too.
you cannot go to the grocery store and say, I have so many things, give me money. So the truth is, it's nice when you can do your job and accomplish something that is very important to your client, in this case, to my friend.
Yeah, that is nice. That's a great story. And those are the things that I think keep us coming back to the industry, keep us working in the space. And I think, like you said, yes, we all need the money, want the money, and the grocery store doesn't just take thank yous.
No.
So we need to have that.
You're phenomenal.
You're phenomenal, yes. All right, so we're going to change gears a little bit. We're going to do the lightning round. So it's going to be quick, fun questions.
I guess, by light or something?
No, we're going to keep it lighter than that.
Okay.
It's just going to be a series of questions. No lightning.
Okay.
What's the best thing about living in Michigan so far?
The people.
I had a feeling you were going to say that.
The people.
That's good.
Definitely, by far.
What's one thing you miss about Miami?
Well, a normal person would say, which I'm not. Completely abnormal.
That is clear. We figured that out.
A normal person would say maybe the Cuban coffee.
Oh, yeah.
I don't drink coffee. So, as I say, I'm extremely abnormal. What I will say I miss is one of my restaurants. It's a Korean barbecue place, which I love. I love, the food there. I don't eat that much, but I like they have something called, japchae, which is kind of a noodles, it's a sweet potato noodle, which I love. It's at room temperature. It's not hot, not cold. And, on the grill, I usually try to do some fish and stuff, and they have also sushi, which I roast garlic and then I put it on top of the sushi piece and I eat it, and it's out of this world. If you like garlic, you will love sushi with the garlic on top, and then that's I will say.
I'm Lebanese, so I love garlic naturally.
Okay, so then to me there is never, there doesn't exist like too much garlic,
Yep.
That's out of the vocabulary. It's never enough garlic.
So my next question, I think I know the answer to it, so I'm going to switch it up. The question was, Michigan winters, love them or hate them? I think we know the answer on that one.
I don't know. Hate is
hate's too strong of a word. Okay, that's fair then.
You have to get used. As I didn't hate the weather in Florida because I'm not for example, I'm not the person that goes to the beach. Some people say, oh yeah, let's go to the beach. I think last time I went to the beach was with my dogs. I don't know, 6 years ago, even when I was living there. So hate is. I'm not a fan of the snow like this. For example, this is my third winter. And in the previous ones, it snowed, then the weather got over 32 and the snow went out, and then, maybe it snowed again. But here it's been snow and weather always below 32, so the snow stays there, and then it snows more, and the snow stays there, and then it snows more. And of course, and I'm still virgin this winter. I still didn't landed on my ass, on my behind. So basically, this I'm doing pretty well. But today with the good shoes, I almost broke the.
Oh boy.
Yeah. But so no, hate is a very strong word.
fair.
I'm not a fan of the snow. Let's say that
Okay.
like that.
Well, no, that's fair. If you weren't in real estate, what would you be doing today?
My background is sales, and I used to be a national sales trainer for a big company, and I love training. I love training to give the tools to the people so they can excel at what they do. I just love training. I think it's definitely one of my passions too.
Okay. What's your go-to pump-up song before you have a big deal?
I don't know. Maybe no, I don't have one. And I don't like the chickity 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 or like boom boom boom. I'm like a melodic kind of guy. I like.
I think you're more like jazz, symphony.
jazz, melodic. Very soft, easy music.
No techno then.
No, I don't like the punchy punchy, the daba daba, nothing like I don't need it, honestly. Same as I don't need the coffee in the morning, that some people do, I don't need that to,
You're naturally energetic, it sounds like.
But I like, soft, relaxing music. That's me.
Yeah.
That's definitely me.
Okay. So this is the bonus question.
Okay, oh man.
Tesla truck, love it or hate it?
What is that? What is that? I'm sorry if you like it, but it makes no sense whatsoever. I don't know. And every single time that I think of the Tesla truck, there is this TikTok. I don't know if you saw it, of a guy that puts a banana on the back, and the truck, slows. For some reason touches the banana and opens back again,
Yes.
and then he puts the finger. And when he puts the finger, it closes
He pulls out his
completely.
finger.
Did you see it?
Yes, I have.
So every single time that I think of the Tesla truck, besides how beautiful and gorgeous is, by all means, I think of
That was sarcasm.
I think, really? I think of that guy putting the banana and then the finger. And, he was like screaming like crazy. So,
To me, it looks like what they did was they stole my design when I was in 4th grade. That's how I used to draw cars. So somehow they got a copy of my sketch and they created
they built it.
That's what they did.
Well, Mr. Musk is very, very, how can we say, special?
That's polite. Okay. All right. So, Gus, my friend, this has been an incredible conversation. You're not just selling houses; you are actually changing lives, and that's what real estate is about.
That's what I try. That's what I hope. To be able to touch someone's life, like this Brandy story. Or some other stories, where they, finally they accomplished what they wanted to do, and then it wasn't that complicated. It was, it's nice. It's very nice.
For anyone out there who needs bilingual experience and passionate real estate pros in the Detroit metro market, Gus is your guy. And Gus, tell the people, where can they find you? How can they get a hold of you and work with you?
Well, I'm here at Empire. I have my phone number still from Florida that you can reach me at. It's 954-394-8766. My last name is Tosti, Italian. So my email is very simple, gastosti@gmail.com. You don't necessarily need to call me when you have to do something very important. If you have a question, I'm here to help. Maybe today you will not need to buy or sell, but you have a question, I would love to help you. That's, and if I don't know the answer, I will find out, because we're working with a team of professionals, so I'm, for example, very grounded, on investing. Some other people are very, knowledgeable in different areas. So And the amazing thing about real estate is every closing, you learn something more and something different that you didn't know before. So it's experience, it's life, so when you're working with a nice team, that's, definitely a plus.
Love that. Yeah, absolutely. And the industry is always changing and evolving, and you have to keep your finger on the pulse of what's happening.
Completely.
Yeah. Well, before we wrap up, let me say this, that whether you're buying your first home, you're selling the property, or investing in your future, really it comes down to the right guidance makes a world of a difference. And so if you love this episode, do me a favor, subscribe to The Real Deal with Empire. We're on Spotify, we're on YouTube, we're on Apple Podcasts. So I want you guys to follow us there. And remember, real estate isn't just about properties, it's about people, and we're here to keep that real. I'm Ali Fawaz, and I'll see you guys on the next episode.